Hey up lads! So it's been about 3 months since the last devlog. Once again, thanks for the support on that one. Anyways, as you can probably tell from that intro, I've been working quite a bit on the game. And I also changed the loader as well. Don't worry, I am gonna make it look a bit better later on once I actually, figure out what I want to do with it. But that also brings me to... I am sort of maybe considering changing the names to something else. Because, and this is a bit of a side tangent here, ARESDA as a name is quite a... Actually, it originally started out of Q-Smash. It was ARESDA, which I named my first ever Unity project. Since then, it's just sort of stuck around for the past 4 years now, Jesus. But it means nothing. It's not descriptive, and it would kind of sound stupid, to be honest. So, if anybody has any suggestions for names, preferably ones which contain some variety of O, because then I can actually incorporate the planet graphic into the name itself, then, leave them in the comments. Increase engagement, etc. Might stick to ARESDA though. No, I'm not sure yet. Speaking of engagement, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps inflate my ego. Also, I sort of realized recently that I haven't actually shown off any of the procedural solar systems yet. And previously that was mostly because of the terrain generation. Outside of like the gas giants, which look... oh, they look so good, man. I'm so happy with the gas giants. Like, they look great, man, but the actual planets themselves that aren't gas giants, there's no variety. They all look the same, and the terrain textures are way too low detail to have really any interesting surface features. But I thought I might as well just, showcase their existence at some point. So I just went to a bunch of random solar systems to get some footage, and I'll say, it was actually better than I expected. The terrain generation system overall isn't actually as bad as I thought it was, so I'm quite happy about that. And I also happen to add both procedural weather systems and terrain scattering. Also, in between videos, I've spent a ton of time working on bug fixing, and I am very pleased to say that every single planet in-game rotates, and you can actually land anywhere on the planet and stay there with no issues, no bugs. Like, it took way more effort than I thought it would, but it works. And the same goes for the space stations as well, as I showcased in the intro. Although I'm gonna say that station interior was a bit rushed. It is a fully working artificial centrifugal gravity system and, physically accurate as well. With an interior which is actually within the station, but it was definitely a bit rushed. But wait! What's that? Well, my dear friend, I am very glad you asked. You see, this magnificent specimen— oh, no, fuck my titty, it's just as jank as the rest of the game— is the first alien species to actually be implemented in some way in-game. Yes, this, my friend, is our first sighting of the inhabitants of that small ringed world only 40 light years from ours, the Tossler. Take note, my friends, of the pale green skin indicative of copper-based blood, the large dark eyes, the huge ears to compensate for the lower air pressure, the hooves because I thought it was cool, the mountainous terrain they descend from, the tail for reasons we'll get into at some point, I'm sure, and the much, much greater amount of fur, which this one is conveniently hiding under their flight suit. Damn. Okay, obviously this is a bit of a work in progress. Once I've, finished off their design, I'll make a big lore video about the Tosslers as a species, probably. Their culture and biology, once I actually figure all that out. Same for the Scyphelians eventually, but at the moment, those are even more work in progress. So, what else? Well, until about a month ago, I hadn't really worked on anything related to the storyline aspects of ARESDA. I am actually beginning to add some more story-related stuff. Starting with the intro sequence, of course. It is, at this point, sort of jank, again. And it's also rather slow and boring gameplay. I have no idea how I'm gonna, make it more interesting, but without further ado, I think I can walk you through it. You start by waking up in your apartment in New Tricaster due to a New Year's celebration, and then you proceed outside the building. From there, talk to your friend and go join your other friends at the party. Here, your friend will decide to give you their Sparrowhawk, which they're they have no use for it, basically. Then you wake up again after the party, 3 hours have passed, and you actually see a news bulletin on the TV. After this, you once again go outside, and then get the hover bus. When it finally arrives, of course, then you go to a spaceport. Finally, select your ship to be placed on a pad, say hi to a friend who's there to see you off, and then take another hover bus to your pad, get in the ship, and then you're free to explore the rest of the galaxy how you please. So, what was new here? I added a system which allows for events to occur at specific times. I added a character interaction system. I added public transport. I added TV broadcast. I added live TV broadcast news. I added a ton to make this work. Beyond this, something which I didn't show in the intro, I added a sort of local spacecraft rescue forum with a new type of contract, and it actually allows for, an actual combat scenario in game. You see, if you type in the address 9912 into the Uninet terminal, it will bring you to the current system's ship rescue forum, which will allow you to view stranded ships and select them for rescue as a contract, which is, in my opinion, a much needed departure from the delivery and satellite deployment contracts. Both get kind of mundane at some point, so this adds a bit more variety. However, I will say, come prepared. There may be pirates working to attack the rescue target. So, beyond that, I think the final major thing I've added and haven't discussed yet, in a major way, is probably the station interiors then, which, in my opinion, actually look pretty alright. This stage, I know they are, again, early days, but they are way less buggy than the previous version's interiors. And with that also comes there's 3 different shop brands which all have stores at the stations. Beyond that, yeah, there's not really much else that I've added, other than the aforementioned rain scattering. But I've worked on improving a ton of other stuff. So, what's next then? Well, for one, I definitely need to continue working on, most aspects of the game, especially regarding performance. That's something I really need to deal with. I mean, the game at the moment, it does run, decently enough, but especially in, city areas, it does run kind of abysmally, so I do need to figure that out. Beyond that, I think the other main issue is I do need to add the ability to purchase things. Currently there's, zero use to your money at the moment in ARESDA, so I do need to add that. And beyond that, just general graphical improvements would be quite useful as well, so I'll probably do those as well.
If you're strong, you can fly, you can reach the other side of the rainbow.
And after that, I don't know, I'll just add whatever becomes relevant, to be honest. So yeah, I'm definitely headed more so into the unknown areas of development, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. And with that, I think that's about it for this devlog, to be honest. I will say it was a bit of a shambles, but yeah, overall I feel pretty confident with development going forward. So, probably release another devlog sometime October. Might do something else before that. So yeah, I think that just leaves me to say, thanks for watching.